Gold, oil, and drugs is the only thing that America goes to war over and for. This war in Iran, this is nothing new. This is not something that's surprising. They've been trying to come at Iran for the longest. They're trying to make it seem like that Iran is a threat due to the fact that they are building nuclear weapons. First and foremost, Iran been had nuclear weapons for over 20 something years. You don't know this, or most of you don't know this because most of you don't watch the news. And if you do watch the news, they try as much as possible not to air that information out. Israel got over 100 nukes. China has a nuke that has 16 nukes in one nuke with a hydrogen bomb. They are the only country that has a hydrogen bomb. What that does and do is it can reach any country on the map and remove it overnight within. Matter of fact, they said it reaches the country in 20 minutes. Are you hearing me? They reach the country. Their missiles reach any country in 20 minutes and remove it off the map within less than 30 minutes. But they ain't saying nothing to China. You see how nice they talk to China? But they want to come at Israel. They want to come at Iran because Iran in the late 2025 just discovered at least over 7.24 million tons of gold, and I think about 54 million of sulfate, which can shift the gold economy overnight. And this is a threat because Iran is down with China and Russia and Japan. And what they have is called BRICS, gold, oil, and drugs. This is what they're all fighting over. It shifts as the economic currency throughout the world. We're using the European currency, which started in 1915 when they forfeited their right to print money in this country, America, and they left it to the Federal Reserve Bank to print the money. So when 1933 came and they went to war over gold, oil, and drugs, they had to borrow money. Who did they have to borrow money from? They had to borrow money from the Federal Reserve Bank. This is why America is so in debt. They borrow money from every country on the face of the planet, and they can't pay it back. This is another reason why they started taxes in 1915. Gold, oil, and drugs. This is the reason why they started taxes. Because they couldn't pay back the debt that they owed to the bankers and other foreign countries, so they taxed the citizens of the country in order to pay the debt. Meanwhile, you sitting there thinking you paying taxes for Social Security, Medicaid, and also pretty much you can be doing that because America doesn't own anything in this country. It doesn't own the bridges. It doesn't own any private locations. It doesn't own the airports. It doesn't own NTA. It doesn't own the toll booth. This is all owned by foreign government. You know what America is? America is an investment ground. So they are preparing the way for Israel to rule. This is why they always fund Israel. This is why Israel has more nukes than them. And this is why anytime Israel goes to war with another country, America backs them. Gold, oil, and drugs. Israel didn't even have a country in the 40s. There's no such thing as a country called Israel. But since the Europeans put Hitler in power, they knew after what Hitler did to the Jews, they had to come to a conclusion with the pressure of the Jewish bankers who actually helped put Hitler in power as well, that we have to give my people, Caucasian whites who took up the religion of being Jews and called themselves Jewish, Yiddish, where they took the language like Russia, Greek, Poland, and they mixed it all together and they called it Yiddish, right? They decided to give these people a country, which was in Palestine. Palestine, where they at, is Israel. That's not their country. They stole the country. This is why they go to war over there, because Israel is trying to take over the country. Israel wants to rule the world, and they need the help of America to do that. So when America falls due to that currency, Israel's going to take over. and they're gonna be the superpowers of the world with more nukes than anybody. But they gonna still talk kind of China too. Gold, oil, and drugs. This is what it's all about. And when they do get into power, let me tell you something. When they do get into power, they're gonna come after the Muslim countries first. All Muslim countries they're gonna come after because that is the greatest obstacle. If you notice, America can't win a war against Islamic countries. You know why? Because they always choose the wrong time also to go to war. They always want to go to war during Ramadan. Do you know what these Muslims are fighting for? They're fighting for their life, their freedom, and their religion. Their way of life, their culture. Matter of fact, they don't even call Islam a religion over there. They call it their way of life. This is what they're fighting for. They are fasting during the day, reading the Quran, in depth into their religion, based on what Allah, what they believe in, and then at night, as soon as they eat, they turn up. This is why you hear a lot of U.S. soldiers when they go over there, go to war, they would say, "We want to come back. We over here fighting for nothing," because they're getting taught the frame. Can you imagine? Can you imagine some foreigners, an army, come from another country in America and want to fight you in your community? You know every nook and cranny there is for sneak attacks. They have no win. So imagine you going out there in the desert somewhere, or in the woods, or in the mountains, trying to fight some people that was born and raised over there. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. And this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to throw y'all out there so y'all can fight and die for what they want, for what the secret societies want, for the devils want, for Satan's children want. Yeah, I say Satan's children because a lot of you out there say, we're all God's children. No, we're not all God's children because Satan has children too. Gold, oil, and drugs. This is what it's all about. And now when they go to war, they're going to get y'all. All of you that's 18 to 30, or better yet to 35, they're coming to get you. All of you that decided that you want to sign up to the army or the military because you wanted proper education and you want this and you want that and you're going to benefit with your family, I understand. I'm not even mad at you. But once you sign on the dotted line, what you're telling the American government is, my life no longer belongs to me or my family. It belongs to the American government. So when you die, they just send your wife or your family member a message that say you die, and they conduct the funeral, they keep the body, they bury the body, and all you get is a flag. And like I said, they coming for you, 18 to 35. You want to be in these militaries for your own benefit. You know what? When they went to war with Afghanistan, they were snatching up soldiers who didn't actually sign up for war. And they was upset, like, what are you talking about? I'm here for education. What do you got me going to war for? Because you already signed on the dotted line saying your life no longer belongs to you. They dictate whatever they want with your life. Now, you're about to go to Iran and go to war. Let me tell you something. America always show off in the air. They got the planes, they got the bombs. You can't beat them in the air. I'm sorry, you can't. But when you hit that ground, America, you soldiers, when y'all hit that ground, you and I both know things is going to change. When you hit the ground in North Korea, things changed. When you hit the ground in Afghanistan, things changed. When you hit the ground in Iraq, things change. When you hit the ground in Vietnam, forget about it. We already know what was going on in Vietnam. They was crying, coming back home as dolphins. Things change. You hit the ground. It's always going to be like that with America because you guys want to sign up, most of you, to sign up into the military, to go to war, to feel like you want to fight for your country, and you're only training for about 6 months to fight some people that have been fighting since they was 13 to 40 something years old. You're not going to win. You're going to lose. And guess what, y'all? When America goes to war, guess what? They got to borrow money. Who are they going to borrow from? Who are they going to borrow the money from? The Federal Reserve Bank. You see how everything is going up in prices? Remember, you heard back in the days, milk used to cost 25 cents. How much milk costs now? Because every time you borrow, the debt goes higher the debt goes higher. And guess what? Your cost of living gets lower. I never seen that you have to work at least 2 or 3 jobs to have a stable life. And even if you do have a financial stable life, you ain't got no time because you've been working all week, 2, 3 different jobs because the value of the dollar is dying. And you know, they trying to prevent that. America's trying to prevent that. Israel is trying to prevent that. They want to stay in power. And if Iran gets their way with these BRICS, with Japan and China and Russia, it's going to be over. And there's a lot of other countries, as a matter of fact, getting with BRICS. You got Saudi Arabia, they're not telling you about. North Korea, they're not telling you about. All of these is rivaling the American dollar, which is about to sink the American dollar. I'm not going to hold you. I'm not going to hold you. This country is going to fall. We don't know when it's going to fall, but it's going to fall. This is slowly becoming a third world country. You don't believe me? Want me to prove it to you? You see, like I said, all the prices are going up, right? And the value of the dollar is going down. That's third world country symptoms. That's third world country symptoms. You no longer can live comfortable with just one job with a college degree. Country's falling. Look at the apartment buildings right now. Property tax is so expensive where they get a loan. They have to get a smaller loan because they can't get the loan they want to make big apartments where we used to live in New York City. So now they have to get money, loans, to compensate the square foot of what they're trying to build, which is going to be small. Because let's say they want to build the old buildings from back in the days in the 60s and 70s. Rent is going to be $5,000. $5,000. So when they get the loans now, in this day and time, soon as they get these loans, these apartment buildings are going to be smaller. The rooms are going to be smaller. The closets are going to be smaller. And this is the way it's going to be in America. And it's going to fall. It's going to get even worse. I'm sorry to tell you. It's even flooding over here. You know what I mean? It's even flooding over. It's getting real bad. So those of you that's ready to sign up and go to that war, be on point. Be careful because it's about to get real worse for y'all.